This morning, I don't know if you saw Hunter Biden's very brief press briefing in front of near the state capitol, and then the response from jacket off Jim Jordan and this creepy looking character Comer from Kentucky, Homer the Comer. Anyway, Hunter Biden was at that news conference. As House investigators were waiting for him at a private session. And he more or less told them to fuck off. Private session, my left testicle. I am not going to enter into a private room with you gonuffs. Are you kidding me? Now, Hunter Biden has made it very clear to the committee, to the press, the American people, to his Catholic Jesus, to anyone who wants to listen. Hunter Biden has made it clear that he will be more than happy to testify. Bring on the questions, mofo, but it'll be in public testimony. Now, this is a real switch, right? I'm trying to think of when I have known of a suspect, which is what Hunter Biden is to these freaks, a suspect who is facing a congressional investigation has insisted that the initial questioning from day one be done publicly. You know of anybody who's done that? Now, of course, the Christian fascists, they can't respond to that. They can't do it because they know that their questions are bullshit. They know this is all political theater, trying to get Joe Biden and Hunter Biden because Donald Trump and his bastard sons are criminals of the highest fucking order. Now, as far as Hunter Biden's legal problems, and he has them, okay, that's being handled by a special prosecutor appointed by Donald Trump and kept on by Joe Biden, Hunter Biden's dad, if you're keeping score. So, okay, let that investigation carry on out. If Hunter Biden broke the law, then Hunter Biden, I don't know if I should say this, should pay the price, as any American should. Nobody's above the law. Well, a couple of people think they are. But anyway, I digress. Once again, Biden has offered repeatedly to publicly testify in the House Republicans' impeachment inquiry against his father. Because after this impeachment inquiry has been going on for months, there still is nothing there. There's nothing these Christian devils in the U.S. House can find that would apply to the high crimes and misdemeanors requirement to impeach and convict a president of the United States. There's nothing there. So what these crazy fucks are trying to do is link Hunter Biden somehow, please show us a path, God, to Joe Biden. And it's just not going to happen because there is no path. But this is what Hunter Biden said at this little press briefing he had. Quote, "My father was not financially involved in my business, not as a practicing lawyer, not as a board member of Burisma, not my partnership with a Chinese private businessman, not in my investments at home or abroad, and certainly not as an artist. In the depth of my addiction, I was extremely irresponsible with my finances. But to suggest that as grounds for an impeachment inquiry is beyond the absurd. It's shameless. There is no evidence to support the allegations that my father was financially involved in my business because it did not happen. I am here to testify at a public hearing today to answer any of the committee's legitimate questions. Republicans do not want an open process where Americans can see their tactics and expose their baseless inquiry or hear what I have to say. What are they afraid of? I'm here. I'm ready." End quote. Now, Hunter Biden has been served a subpoena, don't laugh, to testify before these Christian devils in the House. And this little statement that he made was in a hastily called news conference outside the Capitol near the Senate, across from a House office building where the Christian fascist idiots who squat in what should be legislative seats were waiting to question him behind closed doors. Jesus Christ. Now, Hunter has objected to providing private testimony, saying that, and this is purely reasonable, that he fears Republicans will selectively leak his remarks to, the Fox sewer, or to the little asshole, although he's not so little anymore, what's his name, Sean Hannity, leak his remarks and try to distort what he says. And Hunter has repeatedly said, yeah, okay, let's get it on, but it's going to be public. Let's get it on. Hunter Biden said of the Republicans, one of the reasons why he insists on this is because, quote, they have lied over and over, end quote. Well, no shit. I mean, the Christian fascists in what used to be the Republican Party in the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate are liars. They're like their Jesus Orange Christ, Donald Trump, whom they worship, and they are in great fear of, like the ancient Jews were in great fear of the Lord God Yahweh, because the Lord God Yahweh might decide to drown everybody on earth or destroy cities with arcs of fire and brimstone. So, as the ancient Hebrews were terrified of Yahweh, so the current Christian devils are terrified of Donald Jesus Trump. Now, the Republicans, that is how they identify themselves, the Christian fascists have threatened to hold Hunter Biden in contempt if he doesn't comply. They're saying that a public hearing is not enough. They want to get him in private. Yeah, well, fuck you is what Hunter Thompson is saying. I mean, Hunter Biden. Why do I keep saying Hunter? Oh, that's right. That's right. I was reading The Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas the other night. Anyway, now, Hunter Biden is under federal indictment, facing accusations of tax crimes and gun charges and shit. You notice how the NRA has jumped to his defense on the gun charge, right? Yeah, okay. And the Christian fascists planned to hold it today. I don't know if they did or didn't as I am recording this. And that was to formally open an impeachment investigation against Joe Biden, that commie, fascist, dirty, rotten. What has he done? Well, and the intent of this bullshit hearing today was to try to tie Hunter Biden's terrible wrongdoing through his overseas business deals to Joe Biden. And that is not going to happen. I mean, don't these dumb fucks understand that yet? Huh? These Christian devils, don't they? It doesn't matter. None of this has any basis in reality. That's not the point of all this. The point of all this, and I know you're not even aware of this, are you, gentle listener? Yuck, yuck. The point of all this is a diversion away from this fascist son of a bitch, Donald Trump, this twice impeached, 4 times indicted with 91 felony charges, including rape, all kinds of shit. Please focus away from me. Come on, jack it off, Jim. Come on, Kash Patel. Come on, you little Nazi Jew, Stephen Miller. You fuckers are supposed to divert all the attention away from me. Well, hypocrisy at its worst. I kind of had to laugh and chuckle and almost lose my breakfast coffee over Jim Jordan's slamming Hunter Biden for not following a subpoena the way these Christian devils wrote it. Now, these Christian members of the House really went after Hunter Biden today after that little press briefing, claiming he was refusing to appear before their committee. And while they were letting this vomitous bullshit out of their mouths, I'm talking about Jack It Off Jim and James Comer, while they were doing this, saying this bullshit. Biden was at his press conference outside saying that, hey, I'm more than willing to meet with them in public, but it ain't going to happen in secret. But Representative James Comer was snapping at reporters, telling them they didn't know what they were talking about when they peppered him with questions. Don't you love Christian fascists? Aren't they fucking comedic troupe of morons and idiots? And if the security and continuation of this republic were not at stake, this would be the greatest comedy show ever performed in this country. And Jack It Off Jim ranted that when Congress calls someone to appear, they should appear. I mean, this came out of his mouth this morning. Jordan, who refused to comply to a subpoena by Congress to appear before the January 6th committee. Oh, right. Now, of course, as to be expected, because a lot of Americans are watching this happy horse shit and have an opinion about it, social media exploded with mockery of these two jerk-offs. An ex-user named Henry said, Jim Jordan, when Congress asks you to come to testify, you come. That's what you said, unless your name is Jim Jordan and you don't feel like it. And then another woman named Sophia said, quote, we must look like an embarrassment to the world. Where does Representative Jim Jordan get the balls to talk about obeying congressional subpoenas? I'm just speechless. It's hypocrisy at its worst, end quote. And then Will Bunch, who writes for the Philadelphia Inquirer, he posted, quote, I love this. Jim Jordan always looked like, I'm sorry. Oh, wait a minute. I'll get the sentence out. It's not my sentence. It's Will Bunch, whose column in the Inquirer, if you don't read it, you're really missing a great writer. Will posted, Jim Jordan always looks like he just swallowed a bottle of prednisone. Oh my God. Yes, indeed. And then a guy named Andy said that Comer and Jordan, quote, look like a couple of pathetic, evidence-bankrupt bozos. And not for nothing, Jimbo, but someone like you who defiantly refused to obey congressional subpoenas should shut the fuck up, end quote. And former Republican Adam Kinzinger, Republican who was on the J6 committee, he said, well, quote, wow, this makes the James Comers and Jim Jordans look petty, end quote. But I mean, this really happened this morning. These two jackoffs really said this. Jim Jordan busting Hunter Thompson's, come on, Mike, busting Hunter Biden's balls for not answering a subpoena? Jim Jordan? Yeah. Looks like he just swallowed a bottle of prednisone. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.